Take a trip with me back to Mark chapter 6. Jesus called the disciples and began to send them out 2 by 2, and he gave them authority over unclean spirits. Their confusion is understandable then, when in chapter 9 they ask, "Why could we not cast it out?" It says right there, he gave the 12 authority over demons. So why didn't it work with this boy? Jesus' answer is revealing. This kind can only come out through prayer. "Teacher," the boy's father calls, "I brought you my son. He has a spirit that makes him unable to speak, and whenever it seizes him, it dashes him down, and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. And I asked your disciples to cast it out, but they could not do so." And again, Jesus' response is revealing. "You faithless generation, how much longer must I be among you? How much longer must I put up with you? Bring him to me." You faithless generation. We don't know exactly how he said it. We don't have any nonverbal clues. It can be tempting to manufacture our own, but forget, I ask you, any imagined tone of voice. Just look at the words. How much longer must I put up with you? This kind can only come out through prayer. The disciples and the scribes had been arguing, but their arguments only pointed toward themselves. A natural response when we feel like we've got something to prove. While attempting to defend their own efforts, they forgot that it's really about prayer. "If you are able to do anything, have pity on us and help us," the boy's father cries. He's in an impossible situation. He's come to a group of supposedly certified healers, and they've not been able to do anything for his son. His faith is at a breaking point. If you can do anything, Jesus, just do it. That "if" language doesn't exactly exemplify the kind of unblemished faith that we all strive for, but nevertheless, it is the reality of our own days and nights. Every day we stare into the faces of a faithless people, and we lose faith too. In an effort to reclaim that faith, we often look to ourselves. Sometimes we are as sure as we can be that we have all it takes to be saved by our own efforts, that we have all the prayers, all the faith, all of it. But it's not about winning an argument with ourselves or anyone else in order to prove we have the ability. It's not about us. It's about that prayer. It's about that faith. It's about God. Jesus tells each of us, you have the power to be self-aware enough to recognize that it's not about you. He reminds us that we still need God. He reminds us not of the basic truth that God can do anything through us, but rather he calls to mind the complex realization that we cannot do anything without God. We depend on a God who wants what's best for us. Do you hear it? Our participation in God's glory is not limited to our inwardly focused testimony. I believe. Rather, it is more fully realized in the courage of our humble refrain. O God, help my unbelief.